Okay, so hello everybody again. Hello, Alena. Please mute your microphone. You are the new person here, and everybody is mute. Please mute your microphone. Thank you. So we can start maybe at the beginning. Yeah, something little information about me. I'm Wendy. My full name is Vendula Margaretis Rechová, and I'm freelance brand strategist. It means my job is making life easier for everyone who want to communicate their brands. Officially, it's called freelance brand strategist. Nowadays, I work for especially Expat Centrum, of course, Mapa Ostrava, for example, the group of lawyers who called Tři advokáti, and Terapio, which is therapy online. It's a new form of therapy in online life or world. I have been doing marketing since my high school, and it has been about 13 years. Maybe it's someone who has not mute microphone. If you can mute it, please do it. Thank you. And so I think it's enough about me. And now let's listen something about promoting your business or brand online. At the beginning, I would like to show you how I look at marketing. If you want to do your best in marketing communication, you have to know your brand. It's a main target of the communication. Without good knowledge about attributes, DNAs, brand codes, and will be very effort unnecessary. It doesn't matter if you are a company or if you are a freelancer or if you are a person. Every time you work with a brand. In first case, it is brand of your company, but in the second one, it's just you. But in both cases, you need to answer easy question. How I want to my customer look at me. Every my step I made in communication must be coherent and follow my brand strategy. It's a first very big challenge for you, but it's very necessary. So let's look at some points how to prepare your strategic plan or some steps to do your brand very good in communication. I have 3 points which I work with. It's a diagnosis, strategy, and tactics. The first one is diagnosis, and it means this. I need to know my customer. In this case, you need to know your customers. Because especially in Czech Republic, how our Tomáš Baťa said, my customer is my lord. Don't forget your target group, your total market have some needs, issues, etc. And you need to work with it. Your target in step is unlock these needs and these issues and use for your business. You need to find your target group and do segmentation of them. It's very important. Don't do the segmentation in many fields or many segments. It's about maximum of 3 segments. For example, if my customers will be expats, for example, there is a segmentation, for example, businessmen or entrepreneurs or families or students. But you don't or you can't focus all of these groups. You need to choose very deeply and in a good way in which segment you are able to communicate with. If you want to work with your segment or with your target group, there is the most important thing. you can do, and it is ask your customer and also potential customer about their needs and issues. In this case, there is lots of challenges or lots of things you can do for that. It could be questionnaire, it could be focus groups, it could be loyalist research, when you can ask your customer and potential customers about these things you need to know. So the second one, it's association or attributes. It means your brand or you, if you want to use this. There are attributes as association which your customers have with your brands. Also, your brand have some good and also bad attributes. Your target is to set these attributes and work with them in communication. For example, you can use words like entertaining, reliable, friendly, innovative, but also you need to fight with some bad association. For example, young company or little company or something like that. This is place or time how to set it right and use it in communication for your win, we can say. It's very specific for businesses which you are doing, because for example, for lawyer it could be something like maybe innovative or modern, or I don't know. I don't know this word in English. I'm sorry. Maybe I will remember in this presentation later. But for teacher, it could be friendly or really good to know their field and this type of association. But the first one is it don't be only positive association. It needs to be the bad association too. So the second part is strategy. In first step in strategy, you need to set this funnel. This funnel is main target, how to boost your brand, is improving brand awareness. There is some funnel which contain aided awareness and unaided awareness, consideration, purchase, and buy. And it's an example. When you want to sell something and you want your customer buy your products or service, you need to improve your brand awareness. Because if your brand is unknown, you can't sell something. This funnel is not too easy to set up, but in start, if you are start with brand management, you can start with your target. It could be set by increase your aided awareness, for example, or unaided awareness, it doesn't matter. For your year 0, it's enough. The next years, you can set your target like, I would like to increase my sales from 8% to 10%. But if you want to do this, you need to increase your aided awareness or brand awareness. Here is some example. If you want to use or set up your target in the right way, this target needs to be smart. It means it needs to be specific, time-based, with some numbers. And this sentence increase brand awareness from 24% to 41% until the end of December 2020. It's a right example how to set your strategic target. Don't set the lot of targets. Many people or many companies have the problem with the targets because they aren't smart and use it in a wrong way. In your strategy, maybe in year 0, it will be okay if you will have only one this strategic target and use it with your in your communication. It will be, I think, enough for you. So the next one in strategy is 2 very important points. It's brand DNA and brand code. Brand DNA, it's the same way like every human has a DNA. The brand has DNA too. It works the same. It's building. It's a building stone for a brand, and in a DNA, it doesn't matter if you call it DNA, vision, promise. You set some sentence which describe your service. For example, in Expat Center, we have the brand DNA set up like sentence: we make life easier for expats and their families who wants to live and work in Ostrava. It's our promise to expats, and also everybody know this sentence because it's easy and it's something like a soul about this brand. This promise or sentence we want to present to everybody who will speak about us. It is very important because main target is that everyone have the same expectation about your brand. If you speak about your brand, you need to use the same sentence or the same logic of your speech if you want to speak about the brand. Not only you, but also your friends, your customers, or everybody who will speak about your brand. Brand is easy to set up because you need to focus on who I am, what I do, and how I do. If you want to set for what I do it, it's you did it in a diagnosis. The brand DNA is the soul of brand, and now the brand code is the body of brand. It's some visual identifiers. And if you have some logotype, it's only one thing of your codes you need to have. The others could be, for example, colors, shapes, fonts, or some special things. For example, Coca-Cola have a bottle, because if you see the Coca-Cola bottle somewhere without any branding, you really know this is the bottle of Coca-Cola. This code is very important because if you work with these codes in the right way, you use it in communication online and offline, and everybody can see this brand, these codes in a different situation. They write in their brands and brains, their brains, and they can imagine, yes, this is this brand, and the recognition, it's a bad word, is easy for your customer or for your potential customer. So this is some example how to DNA could look. For example, Pampers have a very easy and short DNA. Pampers exists to help mothers care for their baby's healthy and happy development. It's a really short sentence, but with all of these words we need to, or with all of this soul, we need to input in this sentence. Dove has a longer sentence, but it's the good mirror about the philosophy of the brand. Yeah, it's a really, I think, good example for that. So here is a brand quote. I think I speak about Coca-Cola. Sephora is the good example because you see the logo, you see the flame, you see the black and white, and the last brand code of Sephora is touch of red. If you see some merch, for example, some I don't have the word, or doesn't matter, some posters with the branding of Sephora, you see the black and white posters, for example, with a woman who has red lips, for example, it's a touch of red. And also Ostrava Expat Center, we said this brand code at the beginning of our life of Expat Center, and you have to see or you can see it is logo type. It's a pictogram without this fonts or this typography, and also this typography and also these colors. We work with Ostrava fonts and Ostrava colors, but in a little different way than Ostrava, because it needs to be individual, very individual for every brand. And the next one is a product positioning. Positioning is very important for you because you need to know this for thing. You need to know what your product is. It's not only about name of the product, but you have to be able to explain your product not only to yourself, but for example to your granny in some village. The second one is portrait of your customer. It's very important. You can set some persona or very specific explanation of your customer. The third one is versus. It's competitors. It's in this situation, you can't fight only with the competitors like another company, but you can fight with some situation. For example, if you are a teacher, you can fight with this or your customers don't want to learn English, for example. And also you can fight with some competitors. It could be another teacher in Ostrava city, for example. And this last one is 3 of your benefits you can bring to your customer. It needs to be some, it could be some financial benefit or some emotional benefit or some life changer or a life making life easier thing. But it's very important to set it and focus on it if you speak to your target group. I think it's not easy. It's not easy to explain it in Czech, but in English it's maybe very difficult for me. But I think if we can speak about it more and more time, you can understand it. It's not that hard that you can see right now. And the last one is tactics. Tactics is maybe if you know your customers, attributes, DNAs, codes, and some target, it's time to choose your communication tools. We know that exist many online and offline tools, but not every is good for your business. It's very, very important. The best way how to set or choose these tools is let's brainstorm these tools and choose it in the right way. For example, if you are a lawyer, you will probably use LinkedIn like main online communication tool, and you will not use Instagram, for example. It is very individual for each brand or business. Here is some examples. You communicate in an online world and also in an offline world. It's very important because online is not only one thing you can do, because people are alive and not only in an online world, but you can brainstorm something like this, and then you can cut every thing you don't need to use and choose it the right tools for you. As you can see, for example, social media, it's a classic in this time. Maybe some printed media, leaflets, posters, TV, radio. There is many tools you can use, but not everything is not good for your business.
Wendy, what is doeg?
It's
Or doeg?
Yeah, DOOH is a print media. It's media like City Light. It's out of home medium you can see if you go, for example, in a street and you say you can see some presentation in a bus stop or bus station. Yeah, it's
Understand, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So this is the example how you can do with the brainstorm. And this is the example in a specific field. If you are a restaurant, for example, you can use Facebook, because Facebook is good tool how to work with your customers. It's better than web. It means you can use only Facebook, but you don't have to. If you use Instagram, it's a very good field or very good tool for photos, for very nice photos of your food and drink, and it's a lifestyle presentation. And also, like restaurant, if you have a owner of restaurant, you can do some events for your customers, some degustation, for example, or some evening with bands or music, and cooperation, for example, cooperation with some influencers. Maybe you can ask some influencer of your city if they don't want to communicate your restaurant, for example. And also B2B, like catering, etc. And the websites like TripAdvisor and this kind of websites. And in the another way, if you are a teacher, for example, you can use Facebook or LinkedIn. Not or, you can use it both of them, but for example, in LinkedIn, you need to set your communication in more specific way. It's not lifestyle social network, but it's a very not specific, but very, I don't know the word, I'm sorry, maybe I try to find it in a przekładacz. Yeah, professional social network. And you can also write a blog or do vlog or podcast. Is very famous or very trendy in these days, do the podcast.
And what is vlog?
Blog is
Video?
video blog for
Okay.
you can have it on your website or YouTube or another platforms. And you build your name, your brand. In this field, you are professional in it. Yeah, it was the examples. Okay, so the last thing I would like to present you is two marketing ways how to communicate if you set the diagnosis, if you set the strategy, and if you choose your marketing tools. It's very important to look at marketing in these two ways because many of brand manager, no brand manager, but many marketing managers or owners of company don't focus of both of them. In marketing exists these two ways. In these two ways means how to be effective. If you choose only one, you never do it enough effective. These two ways called long of it and short of it. And how you see, the short of it is performance marketing or activate marketing, which is bounded by a short term. It is especially sales strategy, focus on product, benefits from brand strength. And we can call it target marketing, is targeting to specific segment. And in long of it, it's a long-term marketing, focus on future sales. And also it is very emotional strategy, focus on brand, and which make brand value. This is marketing for your total market, and it calls mass marketing. Yeah, it's very easy. So if you work with the brand, you need to split budget and content of your communication between these two strategy. And why? We can show it, or I can show it in this graph. You can see timeline and sales uplift line. In a red line, this graph, a red line, it's a short of it, and the blue line, it's a long of it. You can see this is a sales activation and it is brand building. If you if you invest here, it is the big mountain, big edge. It's a moment when you invest to your marketing. And if you invest, this product generate money back. But if you don't invest, it's here. In this situation doesn't exist any product which generate your money back. And it's again and again the same situation in your company life. And in a blue line, you see the step-by-step growing if you build your brand. But this is really long work on your brand. And maybe somewhere here, it could be about 3 or maybe here, 3 or 5 years. You can see here some break point. And it's mean if you invest, if you don't invest any money here, your product will generate some money back. But it's not a long-term situation. We can explain it on a very good example. Let's imagine the apple tree. If you watering apple tree, you build the brand. And if you harvest the apples, you do performance marketing. And if you stop watering tree, the tree stops generates apple. But also if you stop harvest apples, there will be too many apples at tree on tree and stops generated. It's example. Because of this, you need to do both of this strategy. And now we can, or I can show you how to split your budget and your content between these two fields. It's very specific in different fields. And this is some common split of budget or content. 60% for brand building, for long term or long of it, and 40% for activation, performance marketing, or short of it. But in this graph, you can see specific situation. For example, if you are financial service, for example, bank, you need to increase your brand awareness because you want to loyalty customers, and you want to increase your I don't have a word again. Confidence. You need to improve your confidence because you are bank, and you need to be a good partner for your customer. In this case, it's a fast-moving consumer good. It's a typical example for the common way to split the budget. And if you are, for example, non-profit organization, you need to split in this way. This in this field, is activation is little bit important than brand. And we are in the end. There is some little summary from me. At the first, very first thing is do diagnosis. It's a very important, because if you don't know your customers, you can't do your service in the right way. The second one is define your target group, define their needs and issues, made the DNA of your company or your brand, and codify everything you will do. Made a strategy or make the strategy. It's some good partner for your thinking about communication in a whole of year. Then you have a strategy, choose your marketing tools. Then split share of your budget and content. Don't forget your attributes and communicate it in your strategy or in your communication. And it's the most important thing, follow your heart. Because in Czech Republic we say the fish smells from head. And it doesn't mean if you don't believe in your strategy and in your communication, nobody who work with you can do it in a good way, because it's only about this person who stay in the top of communication strategy, we can say, or in the head of the company. So this is my summary for you for this day, yeah, or this webinar. And this is my contacts. If you want to consult with me something on, or if you need some specific question or something like that, this is my email and this is my LinkedIn profile, and you can, don't be hesitate to ask everything to me by these two tools. So thank you very much for your attention and question, and we can see to the chat if there are some questions.